Welcome to TMZ Live. Harvey Levin here.
Charles here.
Welcome back.
Thank you very much.
Okay, we got a lot of information on the Bezos Sanchez wedding. And we're going to start with one of the guests, Orlando Bloom, who we are now told is single. And he is psyched to party.
He is approaching this weekend and the big parties in Venice as a single man. That's his mentality. And we know there's been a lot of talk about himself and Katy Perry and that the relationship is ending. This is a pretty good sign that there's some truth to those.
Well, we knew that he was going alone, but we are told by people in the know that he's single and he is ready to have a big party, and there are plenty of people to join him. For example,
and some other people who are single, like one Tom Brady.
Yeah.
Who will also be there for the festivities.
Leaving from Miami on a jet, I believe, today.
Private jet, of course.
Of course.
Yeah, I don't know. You might have meant like an Airbus or something.
Please. I mean, of course. Leo DiCaprio. Actually, we're told that that Orlando and Leo are going to go bar crawling, and at some point.
I don't see how that happens. How could? I mean.
So here's what one person told me. I talked to somebody who's going to be there, that they said, and this is their quote, 90% of the people that are going are kind of boring. I mean, you can understand that, right?
Super rich, but not exactly.
Bill Gatesy, you know?
Right.
I mean, Bill Gates is incredibly smart and everything else, but
it's not the guy you want
to party with. Not the life
with.
of the party.
Right.
10% are really, really fun, including, this person said, Jeff Bezos.
Right.
And that Orlando Bloom is the life of the party. And he knows how to do it and is going to do it in spades.
So that 10% will certainly make up for the other 90% who are boring.
So they say. And by the way, we put a poll up, by the way. Who would you rather? Tom Brady.
Well, we didn't say who'd you rather, because that would be crass.
Okay, most
eligible bachelor at the Bezos wedding.
Who do you think it's going to be?
I think they're going to go with Brady.
I think they're going to go with Brady, but because internationally they would say Bloom.
Right.
They would say Bloom. Let's see. Yeah.
Wow.
How about that?
Wow. Maybe they're just trying to be.
Thing.
And also maybe they're just being respectful because Katy and Orlando have not announced that they are splitting. So
please.
And guys, we should point out that we have confirmed Katy will not be at this wedding. We know she's going to be in Australia. She's got a set of shows that entire week. So there's just no way in heck that she can get on a plane and even escape for a few hours to get to this wedding and then get back to Australia. So she won't be there. So you've got Orlando that's single there. You've got Tom Brady that's single there. Can you imagine being a girl at this wedding?
Yeah, and you throw in Leo, who we expect will be there with Victoria. But if you're a young lady in Italy and in Venice, and you walk in,
you shoot your shot.
You shoot your shot.
You got
to shoot your shot.
Now, they've got a lot of stuff going on. So in the 3 days, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, it looks like Saturday's the wedding. They've got 3 theme parties, and we told you yesterday one of them is a PJ party that everybody's going to dress in pajamas.
That's wild.
Now, on the other side, they're going to have, it turns out, we're told they're going to have like a Gatsby party, which is a hoity-toity cocktail party right out of F. Scott Fitzgerald. And that's going to be really interesting because they're doing it up. And what I'm told is that tailors in L.A. and other places in New York have been really busy.
Right. These are not
really busy.
These are not costumes that they're renting. They're actual designers who are designing their
really big, big designers.
Yes.
And I talked
I saw Diane von Furstenberg arrive today, right?
She arrived. Barry Diller, her husband, is going to be there. David Geffen is going to be there. I talked to somebody who's going to be there, who said this guy. He said it's just a pain in the ass. They've got so much luggage that they've got to schlep because they got to get all these costumes that are and he's just like, oh God. And then there are other people who are shipping all their clothes because there's so much that's going on there.
They don't have sky caps waiting for you at the private jet.
I have not checked a bag in 30 years. I have never gone anywhere where
I'm just thinking of the guys who have to take all the luggage off those private jets when they get in and then get it to their hotels.
And do the billionaires tip is the question.
They have to tip.
I talked to somebody who told me about one.
Although
and I can't mention the name.
they all may go
Zero.
They all may go. Well, it's Europe. You
Zero.
don't need the tip.
Zero. Big billionaire.
They might have to tip because some of these A-listers, especially the ones that would be coming in on like a yacht, we're now hearing that, like, especially for Bezos and Lauren, Bezos's yacht might have to be moved to another location. There are security concerns over there. Obviously, there's these protests going on that we've talked about, and his security team has concerns over where they are now going to dock his yacht, whether they're going to put it in the lagoon like the original plan was. We're being told that his security plan is moving hour by hour, these plans, and locals over there say the plans just keep on changing up to the minute.
Now, there's some mocking going on.
Yes.
This is
pretty
hysterical.
funny that
this is hysterical.
there are locals who clearly or may not be involved with the festivities, but they know that everybody knows what's going on.
There's Jeff and Lauren.
And so you got this gondola operator who's like, "Yeah, let me put Jeff and Lauren in my gondola. See if this attracts."
Hysterical.
Right, because if you're a tourist there, you go like, "Let me get on that gondola with this guy and get my photo with them in the background."
And nearby in St. Mark's Square, there is a lifelike, in fact, bigger than lifelike. He's 6 feet tall and Jeff is 5'7", of Jeff Bezos. And it's really funny. All these tourists are coming and posing. I mean, this is the most famous square in Venice, maybe next to the Vatican in Italy. All these pigeons are flocking to this
pigeons
statue.
just landing on a lake. They think it's a scarecrow.
So, there is a lot going on in Venice. There are protests. So we want to take the temperature.
Exactly. So we are joined now by someone who is plugged into everything that's going on there in Venice. Julia Raffaello is a Venice content creator, and she is joining us right now.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm really excited about our conversation.
Well, I am too. So, look, you're there. Is this considered disruptive or celebratory, this wedding?
This is not the first celebrity wedding, by the way, that happens in Venice. And whenever they happen, they come with intention. They come with love and protections toward the city. And let's be honest, they come with supporting businesses. They support local vendors. They support new jobs and possible future funding and possible future investments, which, let's be honest, Venice needs that. Venice is a really dedicated city, if not the most dedicated city in the world, and I don't think it can survive without that.
So, Julia, I get why people who are certainly celebrity watchers in Venice would be really excited about this. You're going to have these A-list stars. You're going to have incredibly wealthy people. But isn't that also what the people who are protesting, I guess the people who will love this, what would you say to the people who are protesting who clearly have very strong feelings that I would guess are centered around, as you can see there, Mr. Bezos' wealth? So what would you say to them?
I would say that we need to focus on what happens on a daily basis and on the people that are supposed to protect Venice on a daily basis, not on the people that are coming to Venice with an intention to protect and an intention to support. And I would say basically that. I don't think that having celebrity weddings, and as I said, it's not the first one, is actually the disruptor of Venice. I think it's the over-tourism, the daily travelers, the way these daily travelers are managed, and the way we are going to manage Venice in the future that is actually more disruptive.
So you mentioned that it's great for the economy of Venice, and it looks like Bezos is going to drop about $10 million, so I get it right there. But all of these things are scheduled events, and they're having so many of them. Is this really going to kind of filter into the society, into the community of Venice?
Or is it really just the localized vendors that they're using, and then does everyone prosper from this?
But is it just contained, or are you expecting people are going to, go out into the city at some point?
No, look, I'm pretty sure that they are not going to roam around like a daily traveler to Venice, but I'm pretty sure that I've been a lot of local vendors involved in all the activities. Because yes, you can definitely bring your favorite people from your home country to plan, but you will always have to rely on local vendors. So let's say all the drivers of the boats and the yachts, all the people that will do the flower settings, you will have to manage them. All the people that will do activities. For all of this, you need to rely on Venice. I'm pretty sure they will be taken around in an exclusive way, or artists from Venice will be going to their own private venues. So that's what I'm trying to bring on the table, basically. I do think there is going to be a lot of involvement because Venice is a quite artisty city. So I do think they're going to rely a lot also on local artists.
Real quickly,
we need Julia to settle this argument we've been having all morning here.
Yes, which argument?
If you're out and about over the next few days in Venice and you had the opportunity, you walk into a bar and you run into either Orlando Bloom or Tom Brady, or you run into both of them.
Do you know who Tom Brady is?
Of course.
Okay.
No, of course.
Oh,
okay.
I'm sorry.
Well, then there's the debate. Who's the more eligible bachelor?
Really good question. I would say maybe Orlando Bloom.
I told you. That's what I thought.
No, you didn't.
No, I said Orlando. I said Orlando in the.
Okay. All right.
Good for you. Well, they're going to. Orlando's going to. We're told he's going to be bar crawling with Leo DiCaprio.
But he's taken, so you're gonna have to let him go.
Get out and about, Julia. I'm telling you.
I'm also taken, by the way, so I'm just observing.
Please, that's
everybody's got a hall pass. All of us got a hall pass, even in Italy, especially in Italy.
You're great. Thank you so much, Julia.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
That was fun. Thanks. Okay.
I'm gonna be watching her feed.
No, I like her. We're taking a break.
All right. When we come back, a huge milestone in Diddy's trial. The prosecution has rested, and what the defense plans to do next is definitely raising some eyebrows. It took them just about a month, but the prosecution has completed all their testimony, called all their witnesses. They have rested, and now the ball is in Diddy's court.
And the ball is going to be kicked to the jury because we know that the defense is not going to call any witness. At least that's the plan. We are doing this right now around the time of lunch, and the defense is going to come into court. And what we are told, unless something changes during lunchtime, is that they are going to rest without calling a single witness. Wow. And there are reasons for that. So here's our recon. The defense believes that they have reasonable doubt on all counts. On racketeering, they believe that this was more a showing of disorganized crime rather than organized crime. That you've got a guy who's a criminal because, he beat Cassie, did all sorts of terrible things. But in terms of...
was not using his entire organization to further those means, right?
And the means usually have to be a singular purpose: selling drugs, doing hits, he's a jealous, crazy criminal boyfriend, and doing all sorts of disconnected things that have to do with being a crazy, jealous criminal boyfriend, but that's not the underlying business. So that's their argument there.
Okay.
On the issue of
sex trafficking?
Sex trafficking without consent.
Right.
They believe that the various...
That's the only kind of sex trafficking.
Well, there are two. Then you got the Mann Act.
Right. Well, that's the traveling of prostitutes for purpose. Right.
But they're both kind of that issue. And
well, the sex trafficking is about the people, the victim in the sex trafficking are his girlfriends.
They're saying that there's reasonable doubt when it comes to consent. And again, we're not saying this is true. We're just saying this is their gamble, that they think that there is enough reasonable doubt given the various text messages Cassie and Jane sent and statements they had made that the jury would be unsure as to whether this was done forcibly or not.
Yeah, and Harvey, right now the defense is doing a motion to get Diddy acquitted on all these charges right now. The jury's on lunch break. His lawyers are talking to the judge, explaining what you've just been talking about. These are the reasons why the judge should just acquit him on all charges. The prosecutors haven't made their case. Judge, acquit him before this even gets to a jury.
Yeah, well,
that's what's going on
by the
now.
way, that is a standard thing to do, and you have to do it to preserve your right of appeal. It will be denied. It is almost always denied, and it's definitely going to be denied here. So this case is going to go to the jury.
Now, Hold on.
We have this
the
other
count.
thing.
The other count.
The other
is
count.
The Mann Act.
Okay, that's problematic.
Which is to the transportation of an individual for purpose of prostitution.
Right.
We had testimony from actual
For commercial purposes.
male escorts.
For commercial purposes.
For
Where you make money. Yeah, you need to. There's got to
Derek,
be.
you want to weigh in on that?
Yeah.
It has to be
needs to be-
transportation across state lines
Right.
for the purposes of a commercial sex act is what. So for prostitution, as you said.
Right.
And
A
their
commercial-
argument here is going to be,
Sorry,
look.
Yeah, no,
we
the
have-
person, but hold on, you made it sound like Diddy was the one
God.
making money.
Okay, let's move
and
on.
it's not Diddy making money. So
No, not Diddy making
It's
money.
right.
You have
sex
to have
worker.
paid
It's the sex
for someone
worker.
to come
Right.
across state lines for sex, and the
That's
argument
what I
they're
was
going to
getting
present.
at. They're not
You're
making.
paying the sex worker.
Yes. Yes. That's
Are
the commercial.
were you that desperate to argue with someone that you just
started
needed
the
me to
argument.
come back?
You literally started
I
the
didn't start the argument. I
Derek,
was laying out what the charge
Derek,
was,
he
and this
started
guy
the
says,
argument.
well, to make
Derek?
a profit.
Derek.
Listen, order in the court. Order in the court a little bit. Let's just explain what kind of argument they're going to make, which is that they've had these escorts on the stand and have asked them during cross-examination, were you paid to come over across state lines for sex? And the male sex workers have all said, no, I was paid for my time and discretion, which sounds like a good argument, except it would nullify all of the laws about prostitution if a prostitute could always say, you're paying me for my time, just leave the money on the nightstand. It's not a commercial sex act. We just happen to have sex after you pay me for it.
And you're right, but here's the twist to it, that what they're going to argue is this is bedroom police, that ultimately you're basically going into somebody's bedroom and prosecuting them for what they do, whether it's kinky or not, it's what they do. And, do you put 70 Homeland, again, this is their argument, 70 Homeland Security agents getting a search warrant, raiding his house, talking about baby oil at press conferences, and ultimately it's about that. So in a way, what they're asking for, there's something called jury nullification, where the jury can just say no.
Yeah, we know this is the law, but we're going to decide.
And that's what they're kind of banking on here.
Boy,
So,
that just seems like a big gamble. I mean, I guess to the defense, they feel like they've made those points in cross-examination of all of the prosecution's witnesses,
Right.
and there's no one for them to bring up their...
closing arguments are everything here. The prosecutor, Comey, she does amazing closing arguments. She's done it in the past with Ghislaine Maxwell. And Kenny Garagos, I believe, is going to do the closing for the defense. And that's where you put the case together and sell it to the jury, because it's been very kind of disparate in the testimony. So closing, which is going to happen Thursday, is going to be critical.
Hi, I'm Kaya from Florida, and I think that the Diddy's team choosing to not settle yet was because that they are afraid of using those tactics because it is the wrong situation. I also believe that prosecutors resting their case early was a good thing because, this is such a polarizing case that it's not going to work in their favor if they're keeping up with the media and kind of, trying to elongate this. So them, resting their case is a good thing because now they are going to show that they're confident and that they're ready to advance and hopefully get the jury in the right state of mind.
We will see. We will see. We could have a verdict as early as Friday. I don't think it's going to happen, but it could come Friday. Okay, we're moving on.
Yes, moving on to what I find to be something really, really shocking. Maybe in the time that I was gone, the most shocking thing that's happened. We almost had a war start.
I'm watching it.
Yes, that this guy is so plugged into everything that is happening on Love Island USA, and there was a big bombshell, which I don't know, do you watch it live each night? All right, so this is going to be a little bit of a spoiler alert here for you.
I'm okay.
But there was a big shakeup in the Casa Amor last night because there's some new love matches, potential for it anyway. And just watch how the guys were introduced.
I want to see everything.
To the new options that they have. Blindfolds, please.
So, let me just help you guys out.
I'm
Charles,
just watching. I'm just watching.
Charles, I can clearly tell you haven't watched at all. But
I haven't. What do you mean I haven't? What do you mean you can tell I haven't watched?
Because you said there was a bombshell at Casa Amor, and that's not, if you watched, then you wouldn't have said it like that. So you would have said it like.
The bombshells are now at Casa Amor.
No, Harvey.
6 bombshells.
That's still not right.
Wow. Wow.
There are
Got that one?
What we will
six
say-
bombshells.
And by bombshells, you
They're
mean
not
new
bombshells,
women
Harvey.
who
They're
were
just
brought
new
in.
Men
people.
and women.
Right.
They're not bombshells. Casa Amor is completely separate from a bombshell entering the villa. Casa Amor is like part 2 of Love Island. So there's part 1 where you match up with the original people. You get to explore that
Okay, well,
connection.
I'm not there.
That happens at the villa.
At the
not there
villa,
yet.
right, in the villa.
Oh, look who has some knowledge.
No.
Wanda.
I'm just at the bombshell
Yeah.
level. I'm just at the bombshell level. I got to ask you a question. Because I'm actually I just jumped to season 7. So in the first 6 seasons, has anybody like gotten married or anything like that?
That's a great question. So there have been a lot of people that have gotten married from Love Island, but maybe not Love Island USA. However, the last season, season 6, there's always a top 4. There's top 4 winners. So there's first place, second place, third place, fourth place. Out of last season, first place still together, second place still together, third
Really?
place still
Really? Short
together.
answer is no.
All
Really?
3 still together. No, and they're young. They're like 22, so maybe marriage isn't on their minds. But the fact that they're still together a year
Yeah,
after
marriage
they
is
left
not
the
on
villa,
that line right there.
They're all saying that when they want to get married, but they don't look like they want to get married.
So
No, they
just-
look like they want to get married. They show so much love to each other on social media. They definitely keep the fans knowing that they are for sure still locked in with each other. Actually, so much
I just want to
so-
explain to everyone the reason that the guys are in blindfolds. They had to make out with the new women who came in, but they didn't know who they were making out with.
They've done that already.
Right.
Season 7. They did the blindfold thing at the beginning. We're going to take a break.
Yes, when we come back, Aaron Rodgers has some big news about his future in the NFL, and he also has something to say about his new bride. And he is defending her and their privacy in a very, very angry way. I think that's fair.
TMZ's got every freaking thing. Big celebs, big stories, big events.
Justin Timberlake made Portland kids' dream come true by joining a bike bus ride. And they always listen to Justin Timberlake.
Cry me a river when they fall.
It's TMZ.
Big announcement from Aaron Rodgers and his future in the NFL. No, he's not quitting. He's not retiring. Not yet. But
a lot of people thought maybe.
He did say that this is most likely his last season in the NFL. So enjoy it, Pittsburgh. This is it. He was on his good buddy Pat McAfee's show today and talked about that. But the thing that really clearly wanted to get off his chest.
I'm sorry, too much headroom.
What?
Well, it just bugs me.
You want to talk to Aaron? Come on, Aaron. You should know better.
Okay,
I know.
Anyway.
What is he, rookie? The thing he really wanted to get off his chest were questions about his marriage. Ever since he announced that, yes, he is married, we saw him with the ring for several weeks before he actually said anything about it. And now that he's admitted he is married, he's really upset about the reaction from the public and the media.
It's a sick society, isn't it? It's a sick society. I lived in the public eye for 20 years. I had public relationship. How did that work out? Because my wife is a private person, doesn't have social media, hasn't been a public person, doesn't want to be a public person. But now that's a weird thing. And where are we at in society where that's like the norm now? I know that I've chosen to be in the public eye for one more season. But my private life is staying private. And I'm with somebody who wants to be private. And if and when she wants to be out and there's a picture, she'll choose that. And she deserves the right to that. But the entitlement to information about my private life is so ridiculous and embarrassing.
Yeah, I mean, look, it's different because he has been in high-profile relationships in the past, like Shailene Woodley,
Olivia
Patrick. Yeah.
Olivia Munn.
And he is, I mean, he's been out there and they've been seen together. And for this woman that he says he's married to, for us, not just to not have heard from her, I mean, we've never even seen them together, not so much as a blurry car shot. I mean, nothing. We have never, I mean, so much so that people thought that she didn't exist.
I
It's a big
apologize because
change.
I was away for a couple of weeks when all of this happened. Was there a lot of, I mean, I know people were wondering, was he married?
Yeah.
He just blurted it out at a news conference.
No, but was there a lot, were there stories about her? I just
There
don't.
was not. So he was seen a couple of times over the last few months wearing a ring on that finger.
Right, I remember that.
Yeah. So then when he signs this one-year deal with the Steelers and he sits down for his first media conference with their local media and someone says, oh, hey, is that a moon ring on your finger? And he goes, oh, no, it's a wedding ring. I've been married for a few months. So
Right.
that's how he announced it in a very nonchalant way.
Hi, I'm Katie in Kansas City. Absolutely. And honestly, I think it's pretty interesting that he's choosing to stick with the Steelers for another year, especially when he's saying that his wife is so desperate to stay out of the spotlight. Why is he so desperately clinging to stay in it? Especially after that 2024 season with the Jets. It was rough to watch.
We don't like to talk about that.
Okay, all right. We're taking a break.
When we come back, is it time for a Nobel Peace Prize for President Trump? There are a few people who believe that. In fact, someone has already written to the Nobel Committee about it. Does he deserve it if the peace lasts in the Middle East? That is a big if, but we're going to get into that conversation and a healthy debate with DL Hughey. Welcome back to TMZ Live, and President Trump's efforts in the Middle East just might get him that coveted Nobel Peace Prize, which he has been nominated for in the past, but has never won. And today, a congressman from Georgia actually Buddy Carter announced that he has written to the Nobel Peace Prize Committee and wants President Trump to get the prize.
Because of the ceasefire, which is interesting because the ceasefire has kind of been teetering on the brink and it's only a day old.
Teetering on the brink, so much so that you had the president, can't remember, maybe in your time you can remember.
My time.
A president saying what the blank.
Oh, that was unbelievable.
That the president actually said this morning he was angry that Israel had fired fired after the ceasefire.
If you haven't heard it, listen to this. This is amazing.
We basically have two countries that have been fighting so long and so hard that they don't know what they're doing. Do you understand that?
Yeah, we understand it. We get it.
Yeah.
Wow.
Do you remember? I can't remember a president using that word. But
Joe Biden calling Obamacare a big blanking deal.
Yes, which is a different.
But it wasn't on camera.
Use of the word.
It was a hot mic. He didn't know.
So, is it time to start talking about a Nobel Prize for the president? Joining us now to discuss is our good friend DL Hughey. DL, welcome back, man. Peace, lasting.
I think you have to have peace. You have to have peace longer than it takes to send a tweet out. Like, it has to be that long, right? It has to be longer than that, right? Ultimately, it's interesting because weren't the Iranians and the United States and Israel at the negotiating table when he fired the missile? Like, they were at the table negotiating when he fired.
They were at the table when Israel launched its offensive.
And look, it's you're right. It's shaky, but here's I've been dying to talk to you today. If this peace and the ceasefire lasts and he is able to contain Iran through the bombing and then diplomacy, does he deserve the Nobel Prize?
I think that what we should talk about is the fact that he dismantled the deal that was in place that had contained Iran. He's an arsonist who starts a fire and then puts it out. Let's be clear. The only reason we're in this situation right now because he despises Barack Obama so much. He took a deal off the table, left it alone. They started doing whatever they thought was suspicious activity, or they don't even know if they reconstituted started reconstituting their nuclear program. But the bottom line is, where we are right now. He dismantled what was working, took it away, said he's going to replace it, and didn't. So
wait a minute. He said back then that he just didn't believe that it was verifiable that the Iranians were going to stop developing nuclear weapons.
Okay, then put a deal in place, negotiate with them in place. This is 6 years. Like let's be clear. That deal, by all accounts, was doing what it's supposed to do. He hates Barack Obama so much that he took a deal off the place without having to, just like he would do to healthcare. Stop with this whole, he does everything for formatics. Be the president and stop trying to win Nobel Peace Prizes and stop trying to sell telephones and do the bidding of the country. It's not that hard.
So
it's a job you said you wanted.
In his defense.
What if he never won a Peace Prize? With that, so what? What's with being on the cover of Time magazine and getting all these other accolades? Are you the president of the United States? Act like it. Act like it.
So he would say, DL, that they were about to go to the table with Iran when Israel started its offensive and then sort of cajoled the U.S. into joining in, right? So
In 2018, they had something in place, and at Israel's behest, he dismantled it. They didn't put anything in place. Nothing been in place even for the last few years of his administration. So they had a deal was in place. Obviously, nobody did anything about it, and now we're here where we are right now. I do not think a man who broke something should get a reward for trying to fix it. I don't think that.
Okay. But look, I mean, you say he needs to start acting like the president. The argument would be that the way president. Hold on, let me make my point. Let me make my point. That there are a lot of presidents who all kind of act the same way. And a lot of people think we've been taken advantage of all over the world. Donald Trump acts a different way. You just heard Donald Trump saying they're both blanked up. And he is handling it differently. If his style is able to secure what looks like a long-lasting peace, why not give him the Nobel Prize?
Okay, here's the thing. Tariffs, his idea of tariffs was a different approach. Look where we're at. His idea of immigration is a different approach. At the same time, this is literally true. At the same time he's attacking Iran, he was attacking a swap meet in El Monte. So, I don't know. Any of these things that he's trying to do would already be unwieldy anyway. But trying to do them all half-hearted and one time is probably why we're here. And let me ask you something. Who does he have in place that is advising him? Name me one person, one competent person on his cabinet that can help him. One.
Dio, is there anything that Donald Trump could do that you would give him credit for?
Yes, he could have went to jail for starting a riot.
Okay, there's the answer. The things that you are saying, with all due respect, they are absolute nonsense. He torpedoed a deal with Iran because he doesn't like Barack Obama. Do you listen to this? Do you hear what you're saying?
He destroyed. Oh, stop it! The man, he wouldn't do that. The man who's renaming federal.
Wait, give me the proof. Let's talk in facts. Let's talk in facts. Why
didn't he torpedo the deal? Why was the deal torpedoed?
Because it's a crap deal. It's a crap deal, Dio. The whole world
what was crap about it, Mike?
that.
No.
Barack Obama has said.
There's not. So a better deal is the one he's doing now?
Yes, they negotiated for 60 days. He said take a deal. They didn't take the deal. Now it seems like we are on the verge of peace, except the only difference is now their nuclear program is decimated. Dio, come on.
That man torpedoed that deal precisely because he didn't like Barack Obama.
Every president we have had, DL, has said that they cannot have nuclear weapons, including Barack Obama.
A mediocre coward who is a president, and all of you people enable him. That's all he does is break.
Okay, this hurts your side. It hurts your side, DL, because when something legitimately good happens for the world, you can't admit it. You cannot admit it.
Do you think no, I despise him, but if he did something
right, no kidding, you despise him. We hear it.
I despise him.
I know you do. Everyone hears you.
I despise him as much as he despises black people. I despise him as much as he despises us.
It's more nonsense.
By the way, Mike.
Let me ask you something. Why rename bases after Confederate generals? Why do it? Why destroy black history? Why
Good question, Mike.
Why do it? You know why? Because
let him answer, DL.
And you let him do it.
If you're going to ask him, you have to let him answer.
Why did he do it?
Give me the question once more, Dio. I'm sorry.
Why rename bases after Confederate generals?
I have no idea.
Yes, you do. Coward, he's a racist. That's why he does it.
Look, Dio, let me tell you, it is such a sign of weakness that you cannot control your emotions. You are out here. You are attacking me personally.
Okay.
It's a sign of weakness, Dio.
We're in overtime.
We are.
Dio, somebody your age should have more control over their emotions.
Everybody fall back.
We gotta stop down. Gotta stop for a second.
If you want to see me, I'll show you how weak I am. You know why? Because he's racist, and you let him do it.
I have no idea.
Yes, you do, coward.
We're going to do this civilly.
Right.
I just want to ask you one other thing.
Hold
on. I get it. Deal, I get it. We're not going to do the personal attacks, and we're not doing that with you either. So I got a question. Suppose you're right. that he's an arsonist who started a fire but then put it out. If the fire is out, I mean, isn't that better than it not being out?
Let me ask you something. What was happening before? What was happening before?
Well,
Iran and Israel were trading missiles.
The fire would be that Iran was developing nuclear weapons.
Right.
That would be the fire.
Here's the thing that in March, Tulsi Gabbard, his information czar, basically said there was no evidence they were doing anything. Even on the plane 2 days ago, he said, well, she doesn't know what she's talking about. Pardon me if I am tired of American presidents, be they him or not, saying that somebody has something. At the last time we did this, 4,500 troops died, 200,000 Iraqis died, and nobody found the thing that they said they were going to war for.
Well, here's how I know how much you oppose Donald Trump. You're siding with Tulsi Gabbard.
I'm just giving you. No, I'm not siding with her.
Right. I know. I get it.
And if it was that big a deal, here's the thing: you didn't notify Congress. You never talked to your allies about it. If it was that imminent, why did any of those things didn't happen? Why none of those things happened?
Well, the reality, though, I will say, the reality is, you go back, and I'm an old guy, to 1964 with the Gulf of Tonkin resolution with Lyndon Johnson, and presidents have a whole history, all of them, of not going to Congress.
Right. They always ask for forgiveness, or actually they don't even ask for it, rather than ask for permission.
And you know what they also do? They don't also say that their intelligence operatives don't know anything. They don't do that.
Well, that's true, too. That's a fair point.
Let's be clear. That
is weird.
It's a disingenuous argument to tell me that you don't know that this thing has done racially motivated things. It's disingenuous. You know it has.
Yes, I hear what you're saying, but it's sort of not the issue that we're talking about. We're just talking about whether or not.
I think he did what he did because he hated Barack Obama. I do.
Okay, but that's going back a number of years.
No, but he's saying that's why he dismantled the deal that was there.
But there was no deal in place, no subsequent deal in place.
Right.
I mean, look,
for 7 years.
This is a debatable issue that there are people who think you couldn't trust Iran with, with transparency with their nuclear program. So, that's a debatable issue, I think. I mean, I hear you. But
I think that debate is going to be when it comes down for the Nobel Committee, right? They're going to say that's part of the discussion they're going to have as to whether or not
why don't he just buy one?
A peace prize.
He should buy one. He should just buy one.
As far as we know, they are not. As far as we know, they are not for sale. So that's not going to work this time.
Here's the thing. I'm always going to tell you, it is not a fun thing for me to watch this man do things at the same time. To watch a man who is snatching people off the streets, who is letting federal officers walk around with masks on, and then doing all of this other stuff. I question the motive at every time. I've never seen him do anything that he didn't get the benefit for him, i.e. in this case, maybe a Nobel Peace Prize.
Okay.
We will see where it goes. I mean, we're a long way from him getting it. Yeah.
I was worried people wouldn't have a point of view on this one.
And you were very, very wrong.
Okay. Hey, DL, thank you so much. Wow. That was something.
All right.
We are going to take a break.
Yes, let's do that. When we come back, the Karate Kid villain, Martin Kove. Guess what? Someone else says he was a villain in real life. What allegedly went down at a fan convention with another actress when we come back. Well, Karate Kid fans all recognize Martin Kove's face immediately. He, of course, the villain from the original movies. I believe he's in Cobra Kai also, isn't he? He's had
I think so.
He's been on Cobra Kai as well. So that's why he was at a fan convention in Washington State over the weekend, because obviously lots of fans want photos with him. But according to some officials up in Washington State,
he pulled a LeBron.
Pulled a LeBron.
He doesn't like photos. Well, he doesn't sign autographs. At least I know that much.
Well, what allegedly happened actually involved another actress who was there for the fans, and she has now filed a complaint with law enforcement.
Yeah, guys, I don't know when sweep the leg became bit the arm, but that's exactly what happened here.
What?
Yeah.
That's what she's alleging happened.
She says he bit her arm?
Yeah. That's allegedly what happened here. An actress who he worked with on Cobra Kai says that she walked by, said, "Hi, Martin," at this convention, and he allegedly grabbed her arm and chomped down.
What?
She screamed in pain, she claims, and he immediately started Gomez Adams kissing it, which also did not go over well. Needless to say, she found the nearest police officer who was working their VIP area and said, yeah, what just happened is seriously not cool, and you need to talk to this guy.
So wait a minute, there were witnesses to this?
There are. The actress' husband witnessed it. He was one of the ones who also talked to the police officer. Martin allegedly said, "It's all good, I was just joking, it's horseplay." The police officer said, "Yeah, dude, no, that's actually against the law. You can't bite people."
Did he, well, hold on, did he draw blood?
She says that he nearly drew blood. Police took photos and they said that there was bruising that started around the arm. So he chomped down pretty good, like Cobra Kai style.
That is just weird. Weird. And even if he did mean it playfully, from her standpoint, if someone bites you that, that's shocking. You don't know that it's playful. Wow.
Chris from South Dakota. So biting someone at a fan convention is not playful. It is unhinged. Like, sir, please keep your teeth to yourself. Also, he only seemed sorry once the cops showed up and he realized that he actually might catch a charge. Alicia handled it so gracefully.
That's crazy.
They are investigating. We'll see where it goes.
Okay, what else do you guys want to talk about?
Hi, this is Stevie from Birmingham, Alabama, and I just wanted to touch on the Jeff Bezos Lauren Sanchez wedding.
Please do.
Something that I just can't help but think about. I'm just wondering if Leo is going to make it to the Gatsby party, because I think he might.
Oh, would that be great? I never even thought of that.
Yeah, he has to
I never thought of that.
He's got to be the guy who opens the party, right?
He's got to open the party. What a great point. I never even thought of that. One more.
Hey, I'm Megan from Enterprise, Alabama. My comment is regarding the Diddy trial. I'm so ready to find out the verdict on this case. I am a bit surprised that the defense is not calling any more witnesses. They're resting their case so soon.
Yeah, but hold on. What's your prediction?
That's what I was going to say. I think it's a good idea. He has not taken the stand. I don't think it would have been a good outcome. I'm ready to find out if he's guilty or not, or innocent, but I think he's guilty.
What do you think the jury's going to say?
I feel like guilty as well.
I'm sure
it'll be interesting.
It's got to be in Vegas this weekend. I'm sure they're going to have betting odds on this.
Oh, for sure.
Okay, we got to take a break.
All right, when we come back, your first look at the Bezos Sanchez wedding invitation and what they want for gifts. This is refreshing. I hope that this is a new trend. Jeff Bezos and Lauren Sanchez don't want gifts. I think we'd expect that, right? They went a step further than that. Actually, all of their guests are getting gifts. This is ABC got one of their invitations, and on it says, "We, the bride and groom, are making contributions in your honor and with gratitude to you for making the journey to celebrate with us in Venice. The donations are going to restore the lagoon there in Venice and to support research and education to sustain the environment there."
We knew that they were giving money. What we didn't know is the money they're giving is really part of the kind of the wedding drill. And, a lot of times what they say is no gifts, but donate money.
Right.
They're donating the money.
Right. They're not even saying, normally it's like no gifts, but please make a donation. Right. Don't worry about it. Like, we got you covered.
Will it quell the protests? I don't think so. I just think they want to make a point. But
no matter what they did,
but
there were
good
going to
on
be protests.
Good on them for doing this. Good on them. We will see you tomorrow.